Capitol and the White House during the War of 1812, a conflict much better known today in the US than in the UK. His duties were by then in the hands of his son, who, as Prince Regent, took little interest in the policies of his ministers. By 1830, relations had improved to the point where Andrew Jackson, the seventh president, wrote a letter in fond terms to the new King William IV. "I have received with deep regret the doleful intelligence of the decease of your august sovereign George IV, and offer you my sincere condolence. I feel confident that the people of England will find all the blessings of the succeeding reign." These warm words were from a former general who had defeated British forces just 15 years earlier at the Battle of New Orleans. American interest in the British monarchy reached a new peak when William's 18-year-old niece, Victoria, came to the throne in 1837. She wasted no time in writing to Martin Van Buren, the 8th U.S. president, expressing "our most earnest desire to cultivate and maintain the relations of friendship and good understanding which so happily subsist between the two countries," and signing the letter, "Your good friend, Victoria R." Van Buren sent his son John to the coronation, kindling rumors that the widowed president might even seek Victoria's hand, despite being 36 years her senior. Such was the fascination with the teenage queen that the American press also speculated about the chances of John, a mere 9 years older than Victoria, marrying into the royal dynasty that his Republican forebears had rejected. After sharing a dance with Victoria at a ball, the president's son earned the nickname Prince John. Eventually, though, the American media had to concede defeat when the young queen proposed to a real prince. At one time it was neck and neck between Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha and Prince John, the one being of a High Dutch breed from Germany, the other Low Dutch, wrote the celebrated American publisher James Gordon Bennett. Unfortunately for the progress of liberty and democracy in England, Baroness Leitzen, Victoria's governess and companion, an old woman in the palace, gave the casting vote for the High Dutchman, and Prince John returned to the country to finish his land speculations. Although Victoria never visited the United States in her 63-year reign, American interest in British royalty reached another crescendo when she sent her 18-year-old son and heir, Albert Edward, for a month-long tour of the United States in the fall of 1860. This followed 3 months in Canada and included a 3-day stay with President James Buchanan at the White House. As would become a staple of later royal visits, the Prince of Wales went to Mount Vernon, the first president's former estate, to pay homage. He was ogled by huge crowds wherever he went. In her speech at the state opening of Parliament in February 1861, Queen Victoria remarked that her son's visit brought the two nations closer, but warned that she could not ignore the storm clouds gathering in America after the secession of 7 states. "It is impossible for me to look without great concern upon any events which can affect the happiness and welfare of a people purely allied to my subjects by descent," she said. "My heartfelt wish is that these differences may be susceptible of satisfactory adjustment." Both sides in the American Civil War would seek British royal support. President Abraham Lincoln penned a long letter of condolence to Victoria upon the death of Albert, her consort, in December 1861, stressing, "The people of the United States are kindred of the people of Great Britain," but he was also keen to underline that his concern for her irreparable bereavement emanates from only virtuous motives and natural affection. The Queen would turn consoler after Lincoln's assassination with a letter to his widow, Mary Todd Lincoln, declaring, "No one can better appreciate than I can, who am myself utterly broken-hearted by the loss of my own beloved husband, who was the light of my life, my stay, my all, what your own sufferings must be." Mrs. Lincoln replied that she was deeply grateful for Victoria's expressions of tender sympathy. It was the first time the British sovereign corresponded with an American First Lady, and suggested a